4 in CIT 15, and I'm in a new venue today. This is my home office today. Just schedule worked out for me to be here. So what I'm going to do is go over just a few class topics. We are on week 4. Hopefully some of you will watch this before next week. Because I'm always recording in the week before, because the all important September 2nd due date is actually coming this Friday. Okay, so it's not of the week 4, it's of the week 3, and that's the My IT Lab. Hopefully, I've got that clear and you all are in good space with that. Okay, so the other thing I wanted to say was about the My IT Lab. I got a couple of messages when the first item was due from students saying, this is an issue, please look into it. And what I'd like to say in the most clear way as possible, and I said it last week, so I'm saying it again, is that my IT Lab, when you buy it, you've bought their support. And part of the reason we chose this product was for that reason, because every computer, and hopefully you're taking notes here, so there's a few concepts here. Every computer is unique, depending on what you load, where you visit on the web, and what you load, meaning what different kinds of software, what kind of operating system, how old is it, how old is the computer. So many factors can go into your experience of my IT Lab. So that's why calling them when you run into issues is the better process to use, because I honestly wouldn't have the ability and time to support all the different people using my IT Lab that would run into issues. So when you run into issues, and this is what goes in your notes, my IT Lab is your first support. Now, if you don't get support from them for some reason, then you can talk to me about that, right? But I gave you some suggestions last week for trying to have the best experience with my IT Lab. Okay, so that is there. And the other thing is that part of this class is making sure you're working ahead of the due dates, especially for more technical related topics. I did get a message this week about a student asking, can I have a little more time? And the answer is no. You can have, well, the answer is yes, because there's late work. You can have more time, but it is going to be discounted. And it's really on you to work ahead whenever possible. And I get it. Sometimes that's not possible. But then if you don't get the work done, there's a consequence like many things in life. Okay, so those were two messages that I thought, I would just bring up, because in a sense I'm really happy I got the message, because it means students are working on things, they're conscious of what is going on. Okay, enough with the class topics, right? Nothing new coming at you this week. We're in the mode. So actually, let's turn to the course real quick and just take a look. I'm going to go over our classwork in just a minute, but I'm actually just going to open a new. And by the way, I recommend you have a bookmark for the class. That way you can easily get into it. As a matter of fact, for our class, you could bookmark that URL so that in the future you just have to click that no matter where you're at to go back to that main page. So here in week 4, we have the classwork that I'm doing now. You have your next HTML, a chapter quiz, and the next word, chapter 3. What I will say is after chapter 4, in week 6, you have your first lab test, and that's where, and again, think ahead here, if you don't have Microsoft Office, you're going to need to get it. Okay, now if you're working in the labs, that is where you could have access to Office if you don't have it. But remember, I talked about that you can get it for free, and there's a link in the syllabus for a YouTube video for how to do that. Okay, so I'm just giving you the heads up, put it in your notes. Week 6 is your first lab test, and this is where we move out of the simulated My IT Lab area, and we move into actually using the program based on the simulation that you've learned or that you already know to accomplish a particular document formatting requirement. Okay, so that's heading at you. All right, so I think that's all I wanted to say about this part of the class and where we're at. This week we're going to start talking about a topic that is I always say important, but this one is because understanding how computers work from a little bit of a lower level, from zeros and ones, right, up to how you interact with it. Because what the computer understands and what you understand are very different things, right? So, the video you're watching now is your first class topics, and then you watch this video. And this guy's a little dry, but I really like his sense of humor, and his videos are just really clear, and it really talks about the idea of understanding binary. And binary is the numbering system for computers, and I think he really does an excellent job. So this will be your next heading, right? How computers work. And then what you'll do is under here, I have a little jaunt into understanding binary. So what I've given you is a link to this site. And what you will do, and I'm not going to copy and paste, but well, let me just show you before I jump over there. So what you'll end up doing is copying and pasting just the zeros and ones into this website, into the binary, and then you'll decode it, and you'll get a message. And so that message will be, asking you a question. And then when you figure out what the message is, your answer, and you'll type the appropriate answer. In this case, use the spaces, and here's why. You'll then encode it, and what you'll get back here is a binary answer. So what you're doing is really what that video talks about at a very simplistic level. You're taking our understanding, in this case text, and you're converting it into binary. And this is what the computer is doing at all times. It's taking our understanding, what we're asking it to do, converting it to what it understands, its lowest level, which is binary. Okay? So once you get your answer, right, again, this is going to ask a question. And this gives you the examples of what you need to do here. And then in your notes, I want you to provide the binary answer. So I don't expect to see text here. I expect to see in your notes under binary answer zeros and ones separated with this space between each 8 bits, which is a byte. Okay? All right, so then after that, the last video you will do is Michio Kaku. So if you don't know who Michio Kaku is, I definitely recommend doing some Googling of him. He's one of my heroes. Nice added thing, he's going to be in Fresno actually on September 21st. I bought my tickets today. Way excited that he's coming to Fresno. So for people who say there's nothing happening in Fresno, boy, that is just not true in my experience. And if you think there's nothing happening in Fresno, come talk to me. I'll prove to you, I believe beyond the shadow of a doubt, there's a lot happening here. But anyway, so really what this continues the thought of is that binary systems, binary computers, digital computers has been our history, what since the beginning. But at some point, we're going to hit a breaking point for what's called Moore's law. So Moore's law, just a little tangent here. I'll go to is a law that, and it's not a law except that it has been happening year after year, that computer uh, transistors and speed has doubled every year since the invention. So in order for us to keep this pace, now you could debate whether or not it's a good thing to keep this pace, but if we intend to keep this pace, the technology that we have today is not going to work in the future. And what I mean by that is the zero and one, the silicon, the lower level computer has to change. Okay, and really he's talking about here where one area we definitely think it will. Well, we think it will go. It could be other areas we haven't thought of, but in this case, because since this recording, which was 2012, there has been some actual improvements in quantum computers in just the last 6 months. We've seen a significant jump in their ability to make complex calculations. So this is a real game changer for the way computers work today, which is binary. Okay, so I think that sets up hopefully what you need to know to get this week done. So you'll have the headings that I've gone over here, and in your notes you'll do it the way we've laid it out. All right, so I'm trying to think. I think that's it. Relatively short from me. Hope you enjoy these videos. We'll continue this discussion in the coming weeks. Peace out.